Hello, everyone, and welcome to the No DQ live recap of Monday Night Raw for January 6th, 2020, the first Raw of the new year. Thank you to everyone watching and supporting NoDQ.com. I appreciate it very much. Let's go ahead and get this recap started. We had the recap of the Bobby Lashley and Lana wedding, which of course was crashed by Rusev, Liv Morgan, and two exes of Lashley and Lana. We then had the introduction with the pyro, and we had Paul Heyman along with the Beast Brock Lesnar. Heyman got in the ring and he said, "Happy New Year to you too, bitches." He then did his usual intro for Brock Lesnar. "Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman," yada, yada, yada. He said it's a new year and they are there to make history. However, nobody in the Raw locker room is man enough or worthy enough to step into the ring with the Beast Brock Lesnar. So because of this, Paul Heyman decided to change things up this year. Brock Lesnar, instead of defending the WWE title in a match at the Royal Rumble, this year, Brock Lesnar will be entering the Royal Rumble match. So what do you guys think about this announcement? What do you think about Brock Lesnar being in the Royal Rumble? And not only that, but he's going in at number 1. He is the first entrant into the Royal Rumble. Now, I have a few different opinions on this. I'm very mixed on it. I'll just say that. I do like it because, let's face it, Brock Lesnar versus Ricochet or Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble. We all know Brock's retaining the title. So it's like doing a Brock Lesnar match at the Royal Rumble is a waste of time because we all know Brock's going to WrestleMania as the champion. I mean, it's as clear as day. So on that note, I do like it. And I do like it because we'll get to see Brock in there with a bunch of different guys that otherwise would never be in the ring with Brock Lesnar. On that note, it is something different. Now, what I do not like about it is that I think it would have been a lot stronger if either the WWE title was on the line in the match, or B, there's a stipulation, and maybe they'll add this, where if Brock Lesnar gets eliminated, that person that eliminates Brock Lesnar gets the title shot at WrestleMania, and then the Royal Rumble winner faces the other champion. They could end up doing something like that. It's always possible. The other thing that I don't like is that it basically means everybody in the Raw locker room, they're all labeled as a bunch of jabronis because none of them were man enough to step up to Brock Lesnar. None of them are worthy enough. Basically, they're all a bunch of jokes. And of course, Seth Rollins is doing his whole heel routine right now, so he's not going to step up. But yeah, nobody came out there to say, hey, I want a match one-on-one with Brock, and nobody being built up for it. So it's like, everybody on Raw is a jabroni. Nobody really matters. I mean, that's what I got out of it. Mixed feelings about Raw. OG Crushes with a $2 super chat says, Rollins interrupting would have made sense at least. Yeah, except for the fact that he's a heel. Otherwise, it would have made sense since he already beat Brock twice. He beat him at WrestleMania, and then he beat him again at SummerSlam. Marshall Leonard says, what happens if Brock Lesnar wins the Royal Rumble? Well, I guess if he wins the Royal Rumble, then he doesn't have to face anybody at WrestleMania. I don't know. Tony H with a $2 super chat. Thank you for that, Tony H. Says, Brock versus no one one-on-one at Royal Rumble is a damn joke. Thank you for that, Tony H. I do appreciate it. Darius Jefferson says, if Brock wins, the Royal Rumble is canceled, LOL. Tic Tat Tat says, Cain Velasquez enters the Rumble, then both Brock and Cain will be eliminated. If Cain Velasquez wins the Royal Rumble, this Royal Rumble cannot end well. I have a very bad feeling about this year's men's Royal Rumble match. Who can win this match that the fans will be satisfied with? If it's Kane or Tyson Fury or Roman Reigns, we're going to have a lot of hate on the internet after that pay-per-view. I'll just say that much. But we'll talk about that and the Royal Rumble more here in a little bit. Let's move on here to the opening match of the evening, which was Rey Mysterio challenging Andrade for the United States Championship. Before the match, Rey cut a promo in Spanish, and then in English, he talked about how the title means everything to him, and once again, thanked his son for convincing him to stay in WWE and compete against the best of the best. Why do I still feel like Dominic's going to turn against Rey? I mean, I think they're setting up for a tag match, but Rey is just always thanking Dominic and praising him constantly. And I'm almost feeling like this is going to be some kind of swerve and Dominic's going to go heel on Rey. Maybe they'll team up first and then Rey will turn on him, or Dominic will turn on Rey or something. I guess Dominic turning on Rey would be the storyline. Although, what a swerve it would be if Rey actually went heel on his own son. That would be something else. But yeah, I don't see that happening. Highly unlikely in all likelihood. So we had this match. Andrade and Zelina had these nice red outfits when they made their entrance. During the match, Rey Mysterio pinned Andrade. However, Zelina Vega put Andrade's foot on the rope. Referee saw it after the count was made and restarted the match. We had the match restarted. Rey jumped onto Andrade, who was on the outside of the ring. However, Rey ended up knocking into Zelina. She fell to the ground. And here's where things got really awkward. I'm guessing this finish was botched. You had Rey Mysterio back in the ring with Andrade. Andrade went for the hammerlock DDT, but then all of a sudden the referee started checking on Rey Mysterio and said something like, "You need to go home." Rey ended up going outside the ring, checking on Zelina Vega, and then he got back in the ring and then got hit with the hammerlock DDT, and the match was over. So I think what was supposed to happen here was Rey was supposed to check on Zelina before the hammerlock DDT, and somebody forgot to do it, whether it was Rey or whatever happened. Something got messed up, and that part of the storyline was not told, so Rey had to go back to the outside of the ring and check on Zelina and then get back in the ring and take the hammerlock DDT. Whole thing was very awkward. Otherwise, the match was great, as always, from these guys. After the match, we had Rey Mysterio be attacked by Andrade again, and then Andrade took off Rey Mysterio's mask. That son of a bitch. Backstage, we had Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe interviewed, and Owens talked about how the circumstances brought them together. They need to watch each other's backs. Samoa Joe then revealed that he has a third person to team with them against Seth Rollins and the AOP, but he did not tell Owens who this person was. Then we had Rollins and the AOP interviewed. Rollins said that he is the Messiah of Monday nights. The WWE Universe made him the chosen one. He didn't say it like that. He didn't say it like Jeff Jarrett. He said that he's not scared about this third person, and if anybody does step up, the Authors of Pain will take care of that person. We then had the triple threat match for the tag team titles. Street Profits came out, cut a promo. They want the smoke, yada, yada, yada. We had this match. We had some cartwheels. We had some back and forth between the three teams. Carl Anderson tried to steal a pin at one point, but Ivar made the save. And then Montez Ford did this dive out onto Gallows and Dawson, his tag team partner, Dawkins, I should say. Back in the ring, Ivar hit the big splash to pin Carl Anderson. Still, your tag team champions, the Viking Raiders. Right booking decision here. Vikings should not be losing the titles. I think Viking Raiders versus AOP at WrestleMania seems to be the match to book. And I think it would have been a mistake to go with Street Profits or OC at this stage of the game. Moving on here, we had another backstage promo with Samoa Joe. Kevin Owens was asking about the third man. Owens wanted to know who it was, and Joe decided to show Owens who the third guy is. They went into this room. Owens opened the door, went inside, came out, and he's like, we're good. Seth and AOP are not good. A little bit of suspense here. Some people thought it was Aleister Black because they knocked on the door, and when the door was opened, it was dark in there. That made people think it was going to be Aleister. We had Becky Lynch in her Kill Bill attire come out for a promo. The footage was shown from the Royal Rumble where Asuka pinned Becky, and then on Raw a couple months ago where Asuka pinned Becky again, and then TLC where Asuka picked up the victory for her team. Asuka quickly came out, started cutting a promo in Japanese. She got into the ring, and Becky Lynch, with the women's right, knocked out poor Asuka and walked away. Her music played, and that was the segment. It was fine. It was fine for what it was. I mean, nothing too noteworthy, just something to build up the match. We had Eric Rowan backstage, and he was confronted by Mojo Rawley. Mojo wanted to know what was inside the cage, and Rowan was actually okay with this. He said, go ahead. Mojo looked under the sheet into the cage, and he completely freaked out. He was like, what the hell is wrong with you, Eric Rowan? We then had Andrade interviewed, and he was bragging about unmasking Rey Mysterio. Then all of a sudden, Rey Mysterio, who had no mask, jumped Andrade, beat the crap out of him. Zelina Vega was screaming for Rey to get off of Andrade, and Rey retrieved his mask and regained possession of it. I would have liked to have seen at least 1 week where Andrade was parading around with Rey's mask. I feel like there was a missed opportunity here to let this play out for a little bit. I mean, Rey's already got the mask back, and, you could have had Andrade make an entrance with the mask or something like that, or hold it up on a stick like it's his trophy. So, yeah, I think they could have done more with this, but oh well. And plus, WWE has really overdone this Rey Mysterio getting unmasked or somebody ripping his mask. It's been done so many times now. It's just like, yeah, it's lost its importance or impact because it's been done so many times. It's like doing a Canadian Destroyer 10 times on a show. So we had Mojo Rawley pretty much destroy this enhancement talent. And after the match, Rowan let the guy look under the mask. Well, basically forced him to look under the mask. The guy basically acted like he was blinded by whatever was under the sheet inside the cage. I'm wondering what WWE is going to do with this. What do you guys think is under the cage? What do you guys think? Oh, did I say Mojo? I meant Eric Rowan. Sorry, I mixed those guys up. It was Eric Rowan beating up the enhancement talent, not Mojo Rawley. Mojo Rawley just reacted backstage to it, so my apologies on that. We had AJ Styles versus Tozawa. We had a little recap before the match showing the Randy Orton promo with the fake injury. And it was revealed that next week it will be AJ Styles versus Randy Orton one-on-one. Interesting that they're not saving this for WrestleMania or even the Royal Rumble. But then again, WWE just loves to do rematches, blah, blah, blah. We had AJ hit the phenomenal forearm. However, he decided to not pin Tozawa. He wanted to make an example out of Tozawa, send a message to Randy Orton. So he did the draping DDT that Orton does, and then he finished him off with an RKO. After the match, we had AJ taunting, and then he left the ring. Now, here was another funny mishap on Monday Night Raw. We had that one with Rey Mysterio and Andrade earlier. As AJ Styles was leaving the ring, we had somebody getting into the ring, and then this person was quickly jumped by the security. Now, this did not look like a fan. He was wearing a suit. And we know most WWE fans don't show up to events wearing suits. So that was a little strange. Some guy in a suit getting jumped by security. When we came back, we had Bobby Lashley and Lana come to the ring, and the guy in the ring, the officiant, was in fact the guy that got jumped by security as AJ Styles was leaving the ring. So what happened here? Apparently, the wedding officiant, who is an actor, was getting into the ring because he was in the next segment, and apparently the security did not know that he was part of the show. A similar incident happened, for those of you that remember, maybe you don't remember, WrestleMania a couple years ago during the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Gronk got into the ring and the security wasn't aware that he was part of the show, and there was an incident with that. So very similar botch here. We had the wedding officiant there because Lana said that they are going to finish what they had attempted to do last week. They are going to get married. The officiant finished the ceremony. So I guess in storyline, Bobby Lashley and Lana are officially married. Lana showed off her wedding ring. She said the people are jealous of their love. And they talked about how sorry all these people are trying to ruin their love. The sorriest of them all is Rusev. Crowd started chanting Rusev Day. And then all of a sudden, Rusev appeared on the big screen on location at some beach, a.k.a. a beach green screen that Rusev was standing in front of. G2DM Tyler Andrews with a $2 super chat says, security versus wedding officiant, book it. Hey, they could always do that for the Royal Rumble kickoff. They might as well make it a storyline at this point. But yeah, so Rusev was standing in front of a green screen of a beach. I'm not sure what the deal was with this, if this was supposed to be a joke or if people were supposed to believe he was really at a beach. I'm guessing it was supposed to be a joke, but it was awkward. Why not actually have Rusev at a beach? Like, how hard would have it been to get a camera crew and have Rusev at the pool at some fancy resort or something? I don't know. It just seemed a bit too tacky to me. And this is somebody who's been actually fairly positive on the Rusev and Lashley storyline. I thought that this was a little silly. So we had Rusev show them this digital wedding album, which was basically just a bunch of screen caps with music from last week's Raw. Lana was completely distraught. She was screaming, "I hate you, Rusev." And then Bobby Lashley challenged Rusev to a match on next week's Raw. Rusev accepted, but he said he's going to be the Bulgarian Brute next week, and Lana can have whatever's left after Rusev gets through Lashley. Next week, Rusev versus Lashley. Will it be the end of the storyline? I don't know. Backstage, we had R-Truth interviewed, and it was revealed that he has won more championships than anybody in WWE history. I shit you not. And I say the S word just to make it clear that this video is not made for kids. YouTube, that's for you guys. Liv Morgan popped in. She congratulated Truth and then added that next week, Rusev and Lashley with Lana in Lashley's corner. Who's going to be in Rusev's corner? Basically, Liv Morgan teased that she's going to be in Rusev's corner. What's going to happen next week? Will we have a swerve, or will Liv Morgan help Rusev to victory? I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. Next up, we had Charlotte, who was supposed to face Sarah Logan. Sarah Logan had no entrance, by the way. Logan basically jumped Charlotte before the bell, and she started messing around with Charlotte's robe. You don't do that. You don't tug on Superman's cape, and you don't mess with Charlotte's robe. Charlotte hit the spear on Sarah, beat the crap out of her, gave her the big boot, and then Charlotte put the robe back on, her music played, and there you go. Sarah Logan got her first TV time in something like 6 months. Whenever the Riot Squad broke up, I think was seriously the last time she had television time. Mike B wants to know, where is Ruby Riott? She's been injured. I think she should be back fairly soon. I mean, I would not be surprised if she's in the Royal Rumble, actually. I mean, I could definitely see that as a possibility, as a surprise appearance, big return. We had Drew McIntyre versus No Way Jose. Drew McIntyre attacked the conga line before the match, quickly won with the Future Shock DDT and the Claymore. And he tossed No Way Jose out onto the conga line after the match. He cut a promo, and again, it looks like he's going babyface. He pandered to the crowd. He's like, Oklahoma City, do you want to see me do one more Claymore? Do you double dare me to do one? Of course, the crowd wanted to see one more. He got him back in the ring. No Way Jose, victim of another Claymore, and Drew even held on to the microphone as he was doing this. Then he got on the mic and said that he is officially entering the Royal Rumble match. And by the way, he's doing the countdown, 3, 2, 1, when he does his Claymore now. So again, it looks like he's going babyface. Mike D with a $10 super chat. Thank you very much, Mike D. I appreciate it. He says, I have a feeling they are setting up Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar for WrestleMania. After the way Drew said he's never had a title shot, I bet he eliminates Brock in the Royal Rumble. I just want to know, why didn't Drew just call out Brock? You know what Drew should have done? He should have said, I want to be number 2 in the Royal Rumble. I think that would have been a nice, cool swerve. Like he would say, as much as I want to go to WrestleMania, I want to beat up Brock Lesnar and make an example out of him. I think that would have been pretty cool and gutsy by Drew. They should have done that storyline, but oh well. Tyler Andrews with a $2 super chat. Thank you for that, Tyler. Says, the sexy Scotsman versus Brock Lesnar. I'd like that. I don't think that he referred to himself as the sexy Scotsman this week, so maybe WWE decided that was probably not the best moniker if they're trying to get him over as a badass. We had Aleister Black versus Shelton Benjamin. So this basically took away Aleister Black as a possibility for being the mystery man. Aleister picked up the win fairly quickly with the Black Mass, and then afterwards he got attacked by Buddy Murphy. So apparently this feud is still going on, even though Buddy Murphy has lost twice now to Aleister. I guess he's just going to keep fighting him, no matter how many times he loses. I know these guys have great chemistry, but, I mean, can't you spread it out a little bit? Like, do we really have to do all these matches in a short period of time? Like, save it for a little bit. Like, maybe have, I know I don't want to see 50-50 booking, but maybe have Buddy Murphy eliminate Aleister Black from the Royal Rumble so we can justify one more match or something like that. And spread it out a little bit more. That's my criticism of this. I mean, otherwise, I like them fighting. They have good chemistry, but I just feel like they're doing too many matches in a short period of time. Psycho Jet Black with a $5 super chat says, and thank you for that, Psycho Jet Black. He says, it doesn't feel like the current stars are not being built up as future main eventers, or is it a case, wrong place, wrong time for many or most of them? That's an interesting question, and I think that it's a case of where Vince and other people do not want to push guys to a level where they're going to be bigger than the company. I think it's mainly Vince that just, he doesn't want another guy becoming too big because that guy could always go to AEW and help them out. WWE keeps relying on old stars, and part of it is I don't think they know how to build that superstar. And sometimes you just cannot manufacture somebody like that. You have to have it be organic. But the problem is that WWE micromanages everything. and all these guys, their promos, everything is so micromanaged that nobody can really have a breakthrough moment that's organic and unexpected that could lead to something big. And we've seen guys, Zack Ryder, and the list goes on, guys that do their own thing. Matt Hardy, they do their own thing and they get over, but then WWE has to put them in their place and kill their push, so to speak. So, yeah, it's hard to say. Like, I don't think the timing's bad, although maybe the timing will be better 5-10 years from now. Who knows? We had the main event. Seth Rollins came out, cut a promo, again, called himself Monday Night Messiah. He said he gave the fans Monday Night Rollins, but it wasn't good enough for them. He said he knows best. He knows what's best for the people. Maybe Seth Rollins' new gimmick is that he's Vince, where he comes out there and says that he knows what's better for the fans better than the fans do. We then had Kevin Owens come out along with Samoa Joe. And then we had the third man. Who's the third man? The third man was, well, it's the Big Show. Big Show. Back on Monday Night Raw. First appearance since November 20th, I believe, 2018. He did not wrestle a single WWE match in 2019. And he's back now. I'm a little surprised. Like, he didn't just have one match in 2019 just to say he did it. So yeah, Big Show's back. I guess this was better. See, I was thinking bottom of the barrel here. I was thinking they're going to have Humberto or Cedric Alexander as the third guy. They're going to do something really dumb. At least Big Show was a surprise. So I'll give WWE that. But then my next fear was, are they going to turn this guy? Is this match going to end with Big Show getting the hot tag and then he just turns around and punches out Kevin Owens? Like, I seriously thought that because the guy's had, 40 turns over the past 2 decades? In all seriousness, though, let me say that again. In all seriousness, though, I'm happy for Big Show, and I think he's had a great career. And, the fans were really happy to see him back in the arena. They were chanting Big Show, so I'm happy he got a good reaction. The guy deserves it. I know some people were disappointed by it, but I'm fine with it. It was nice to see him as a surprise. Tyler Andrews with a $5 super chat says, all right, we are all ready for Big Show's 45th heel turn next week. Probably will turn on KO and Samoa Joe. Well, I'll get to that here in a second. There is more to this than just a one-off appearance. The Game is on 100 with a $2 super chat says, I knew the Big Show was the third man. Total obvious. Well, there you go. Game is on 100. You knew. I honestly did not even think of the Big Show. I really didn't. He is a babyface, for those of you wondering. For now, at least. So we had the main event. Big Show did get the hot tag and actually did not turn heel. He beat up Seth Rollins. He was on the verge of double choke slamming AOP when all of a sudden we had Seth Rollins with a steel chair. He hit Big Show in the back with a chair. Disqualification. And then after the match, the fight continued. Big Show ended up knocking out Seth Rollins. And we had a preview for next week, and then it was announced the next week there will be a rematch, a 6-man rematch, Big Show, Kevin Owens, and Samoa Joe versus Seth Rollins and AOP in a first ever fist fight. Yes, a fist fight on next week's Raw, whatever that means. So we still have another week, guys, of a possible heel turn from the Big Show. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that. So that was Raw, everybody. Pretty good show to start off the new year. I enjoyed it. Not too much to complain about. We got some good build-up for the Royal Rumble. I'm on the fence about Brock Lesnar, but there were some cool things. I'm going to give the show a B-. Pretty good. Little above average. Pretty good. What did you guys think in the chat room? People's WWE channel with a C+. Jeremy Dorsett C+. Mike B with a C+, Israel Diaz with a C+, Trey Johnson with a B-, Chris with an A-, CC Drink with a B-, Ma Wrestling with a B-, Tic Tat Tat with a solid B, and Dr. NXT Scorpio with a C. My man, Ken Terminated by Google with a $10 super chat. Thank you very much for that, Ken. Much appreciated. He says, can you imagine if Edge goes into the Rumble at number 29, a number where Brock and Edge won their respective Rumbles and eliminates Lesnar? I have a feeling you're going to give the highly unlikely catchphrase. You are right, Ken. I am going to say it. Highly unlikely in all likelihood. If Edge shows up in the Royal Rumble, I'll tell you guys what. If Edge enters the Royal Rumble match and wrestles, I will give away a free t-shirt to somebody. I will do it. Usually I do it for something where there's zero chance of it happening. But the Edge stuff, there are some strong rumors. And Edge coming back will get me website traffic. So if Edge wrestles at the Royal Rumble, somebody's getting a free t-shirt. There you go. Thank you for that, Ken. I appreciate it. And thank you guys for watching the video. I appreciate your viewership and support as always. If you want to buy an ODQ shirt, speaking of shirts, head over to nodq.com/merch. We got some other cool stuff on there as well. Check it out, nodq.com/merch. I will be back this Wednesday, but real quick here. Mike D with a $2 super chat says, better chance of entering CM Punk or Edge? Honestly, Edge. I think CM Punk is almost 0%. I really don't think we're going to see CM Punk. Of course, I would jump for joy. I'll tell you what. I'm going to sweeten the deal here. If CM Punk wrestles in the Royal Rumble, I will give away a t-shirt to 2 people if CM Punk appears in the Royal Rumble and wrestles. He has to be wrestling, not just doing commentary or something. Get in the ring. He's an official entrant in the match. 2 people will get t-shirts. And if both of them come in, 3 people will get t-shirts. There you go. DJ Whitey with a $2 super chat says, wait, Aaron. I'm waiting. What do you want, DJ? Let me know. Send me a question or something if you want to keep me on here for another minute. Caitlin's like, oh, hell. Darius Jefferson says, CM Punk will not wrestle. I guarantee it. And then JSpin401 says, get off CM Punk's nuts already. It's not so much me on CM Punk's nuts as I'm thinking about the money. I'm thinking about if CM Punk shows up at the Royal Rumble, my website traffic is going to skyrocket. And that's good for me. I would like to see CM Punk in the Royal Rumble just for the website traffic alone. Mike D with a $2 super chat says, how about John Cena entering? I think John Cena's a much better chance than Edge or CM Punk. I still think it's a long shot, but I think there's like maybe a 25% chance of John Cena appearing. Like he could show up at any time, really. It's not like Edge and CM Punk where CM Punk has made it clear he doesn't want to wrestle and Edge is hurt and apparently cannot wrestle. All right, so DJ Whitey here with a $5 super chat. He says, quick prediction. Do you think Mox is joining the Inner Circle? I think he should and turn on them in 3 to 6 months. Well, thank you for that, DJ, and I appreciate it. He is not joining the Inner Circle. Main event of Revolution, Chris Jericho versus Jon Moxley. I'm almost certain that's the case. This is all, a storyline to build up the match. And, they gotta stretch it out. They got several weeks. What is it? 5 weeks now until the pay-per-view, maybe 6 weeks. They gotta keep this thing going. So, they're doing this whole storyline just to keep things moving along here. I mean, that would be quite the swerve, but no, I don't see that happening. Maybe he puts on the shirt and then attacks them after. I could see something like that. Or maybe he joins them for 1 week. I could see that as a possibility. But he'll probably just put on the shirt and then attack them afterwards. Ken terminated by Google with a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Ken. He says, sorry for going off topic again. With this point, after I'm done with the recap, it's not really going off topic. But he says, I really like your old Q&A video. It was very epic. Please tell me it had a lot of views and continue the Q&A. It did all right. To be honest with you guys, it didn't do the numbers I was hoping it would do compared to the live streams. But I will consider doing more Q&As, and I definitely want to do another Skype Q&A session where people can call in with their questions. I haven't done one of those in a couple of months. So look out for that. I definitely plan on doing another live stream with the Q&A questions and the call-in. As far as the pre-recorded one, that's on the fence at this point. I might do another one, but I don't think I'm going to do another 100-question one. Tony H with a $2 super chat. Thank you for that, Tony. He says, what closes the Royal Rumble, the men or women match? Unless WWE has something really significant for the women's match, probably the men's match if I had to make a guess, also considering that Brock Lesnar's in it. Although you could argue that Brock wants to be in the first match so he can go home afterwards. I mean, that's always a possibility. But I would lean towards the men's unless Ronda Rousey's coming back or there's some big name that shows up as a surprise. I would put money on the men's match, but it could go either way. Mike D with a $5 super chat. Thank you very much for that, Mike D. I appreciate it. He says, what are your thoughts on Hulk Hogan getting in shape for a WrestleMania match? I can see him being in a tag match, if anything. I don't think so. I think Hogan, he's got the bug, man. A lot of them do. They just want to keep wrestling. It's in their blood. I think Hulk wishes he could do another match, but I don't think WWE's ever going to clear him to take any bumps. I just don't see them doing that. Like, he might come out there, maybe somebody will run into his fist, but I don't see Hogan doing another match. And I think Hogan also wants to have one final match also because he doesn't want his last match ever being in TNA. And I totally don't blame him for that. I think Hulk wants to, have one more WWE match so he could say his final match was in a WWE ring. But, man, I don't think they're going to clear him. They could do the Bret Hart thing where he like you said, he's in a tag match, maybe a 10-man tag team match, and he doesn't take any bumps. He, gets in the ring, throws a few punches, and then gets DQ'd or something. If you guys remember SummerSlam from several years ago, I was at that SummerSlam, the Nexus versus Team Cena match, where Bret Hart was technically in the match, but he didn't take any bumps. He did a few things, and then he was, DQ'd or something. I suppose that could happen, but that I don't know. I don't even know if Hogan coming out there and throwing a punch is feasible. He looks great. For a guy his age, I wish I look half as good. I'd look half as good at Hulk Hogan at 66. I wish I'd looked half as good as Hulk Hogan now, for crying out loud. But yeah, I don't think he's going to wrestle again. But it would be a nice moment if they could make something happen with him. But yeah, I don't know. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. Thank you all so much, as always, for your support. Subscribe. Turn on the notification bell for updates. And I will see you guys Wednesday night. We're back head-to-head, AEW and NXT. Going to be a fun night to see the competition again. Tune in, tell a friend, spread the word, and I will see you all next time.